Hey YouTube, this is a start off, this is a video of this guitar which I'm about to this afternoon do some mods on. The owner gave it to me and said, can you put some mad switches and stuff in it? So it's getting some mad switches and stuff put in it. It says Squier, I'm pretty sure this is a Squier neck. The body, I don't think so. I've seen this blue type guitar before, like kind of that Buzzwood one I had to smash up. Kind of reminds me of that. It's really light. I will see how I get on, how well I can make it play. These strings aren't arranged. I'm just giving it a bit of a test out to see, make sure everything works basically before I take it to bits. Fire hundreds of electrics in it and then find out something doesn't work later. So just first pickup, just in two. Alright, middle pickup. Okay, just in four. Neck pickup. And do the tone controls work? Yep, and the middle one. Yep, and I take it's not connected to the bridge pickup. No, it isn't. Yeah, so thoughts about this one. I'll have to look back through my mesh and see what he was talking about. I think he wanted push-pull pots. So my thoughts are quick check. You've seen me do this a bit recently. Sticks to that one, doesn't stick to that one, sticks to that one. So the middle pickup is reverse wound. So switchy wise, I think, don't know what that was. 3 push pulls. So that, he just said do something stupid with it, so I'm going to do something stupid with it. I'm going to keep it looking like a Strat though. I'm not going to put any switches that you can see on it. So I'm going to put in 3 push pull pots, right? So this is going to be a master volume, this is going to be a master tone, and this is going to be a master high pass filter. So instead of having a tone control for each of these 2 pickups, it's going to be one master tone control, and the other knob is going to be like the opposite of a tone control, where instead of taking away the treble the way a normal tone control does, it's a low pass filter. It's going to be a high pass filter. When you turn it on, it will take away the bass, which will make it sound thinner. Yep. I'm going to make one of these switches a Gilmore switch, which gives you, instead of your, you know, your 5 usual positions are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Pull out one of these switches, it's going to be a Gilmore switch, which is going to probably hardwire on the neck pickup. So in the bridge position you will get the outside 2, and when you're in position 4 you will get all 3 on. That's an extra 2 sounds. One of the switches I might make a phase switch, which will reverse the middle pickup, giving you really thin sounds. Oh, is that really a good idea? That means in positions 2 and 4 it will be out of phase, which will be really thin, which it could be useful, yeah. And then I think I might put in my Malko switch, which wires these in series, but I use it in conjunction with this lever switch. So when I've got the Malko switch on, when you're in the bridge position, it'll just be the bridge pickup. When you're in the middle position, it'll give you these 2 wired as a humbucker. And if you're in the neck position, it'll give you the triple bucker, all 3 wired as a bucker. And then if you combine that, you won't be able to combine that with the... You will? With the Gilmore switch. Because that means what you could do is if you had this in the middle and you had the Gilmore switch on, that would give you these 2 wired as a humbucker plus this one in parallel, right? So it's getting that done in it, and then the phase switch as well would give you these 2 as a, yeah, okay, so that's what it's getting. It's getting a Gilmore switch, a Malko switch, and a phase switch, and they'll be in push pull pots so you can hide it. And I will make one of these the tone, and one of these the other tone, so like a bass tone, passive bass control, and a passive treble control. It means that this guitar will go muddier than you can probably use, and it will also go treblier than you can probably use. But everything in the middle will be of variance. These things are different. I know the guy's got a loop pedal, so these sort of sounds can be really useful for kind of getting acousticy type sounds in there and things like that. Or depending on what pedals you're using, sometimes a really thin wiry sound. Sounds awesome with chorus or flanger or something, or whatever strange pedal it is you've got, and then vice versa when you've got like the thick, all three on and the tone down at nothing, you know, you might end up with that. Sounds really good with like a fuzz pedal or something like that. So part 1, part 2 will be me probably putting this together, and then part 3, maybe even, so 5 minutes, I might be able to be a bit more economic and actually just put a half-hour video of 5 minutes at the start me telling you about it, one in the middle of me wiring it up, and then the third one of demonstrating it. Good luck to that. Rock on. Hey YouTube, I may have stitched another bit of video on before this, when I first got this guitar, which basically I was giving it to malkify it, or malco it up, was my instructions were for it, just put switches and stuff in it. It's a Squier neck. I'm less sure about the body. I don't really know enough about Squiers. There's a huge variance in Squiers depending on what year it is you buy it from. I've attempted to think this is a different, the guitar and the strat split are different from the neck, but I'm not really sure. Squiers are a funny one. You kind of need a degree to work out what ones are good. All the new ones are alright. You don't get really bad guitars anymore, but there are Squiers. And from the start, my pal Dava was always talking about one. I can't remember when it was. He said it was like a girl he knew bought one, and he said he reckoned it was worse than that Iron Brew guitar I had to smash up. And I said, no, it can't be worse. And he was like, no, it wasn't. It was like, look, the Iron Brew guitar was so bad I had to smash it up. And he was like, the Squier was worse. So Squier, up and down, up and down. The first ones are amazing. I've got the Squier Bullet. It's basically just a Fender Japan. And then the new ones are alright. And in the middle, it's kind of depending on which year it is and when it's from and which model. This one, the serial number is actually dented. Oh no, it's not. It's serial number IC05. So this is a 2005 Indonesian court one. The neck is. Body, less sure of it. Yeah, so in the first bit of the video I was talking about putting in 3 switches. I was going to use push-pull pots, and I was going to make it a Gilmore switch, which hot wires the neck pickup on, giving you the outside 2 coils and all 3 pickups on at once. I was going to put a phase switch in it, which reverses the middle pickup, giving you 2 phasey sounds when you're in positions 2 and 4. And the other one was going to be like a stacked bucker mode, which knocked them into series, giving you some humbucker sounds. That went out the window when I looked through my pile of pots, and every one I had was a 500k one, which you're meant to have a 250 for a strat. And rather than order them from China, it takes a month, or order them from somewhere in the UK where they're like 6 or 7 quid each. I dug through my my notes and found the original malkoswitch. So that's what this has got. So basically it doesn't look anything special. It's just okay, it does have a switch here. So this switch is a phase switch. I'm just put in. I could have put that in a push-pull pot if I had one, but I decided to try and keep this cheap, as cheap as I can. I don't want to go and spend, charge them 100 quid to do up a guitar that's kind of not fantastic guitar. Worth doing it on like a a £500 guitar, but something I don't want to spend that much money on it. So there is a phase switch. That could have been on a push-pull pot quite easily, just the same if I had one. This is a rotary switch, a 4-position rotary. And by clever manipulation of this 4-way rotary switch, so the whole point, the malkoswitch, the original one, I was actually going to try and patent it at one point, because what it does is, assuming you put the phase switch on a push-pull, right, you can take a strat, like an expensive one, that works, the switch works much better on a really expensive strat, and modify it this way to give it 18 sounds instead of 5, and it's all reversible. You can take it out and put it all back the way it originally was, and you would never know you were in there. Technically that could do with this one, apart from I did drill a hole for the mini switch, so, but if that was a push-pull pot I wouldn't have to drill a hole. So the whole thing can come back out, this guitar, so you could put it into like a like a vintage, obviously wouldn't put it in a 50s one, but like a 70s strat, or quite an expensive one, you could put this in, and then, or even just put another scratch plate on it, still using the existing pickups, do all this stuff. Yeah, so I will run through the sounds and try and make it not sound more complicated than it is. Obviously I've got 18 to run through, so that's going to take a bit of time. So if you've got this rotary position fully anti-clockwise, so I'm looking at the 10, like the way you do on the volume control when it's at 10, it's just a strat. Position 1, position 2, which is these two. Not used to nines, keep hitting the strings too hard. Middle pickup, position 3. Position 4, just these two. Neck pickup. Right, and then so when you're in position 4, which is these two pickups, this phase switch reverses the middle pickup. So any selection you've got that uses the middle pickup, it reverses the middle pickup. So position 4 out of phase, which as you can hear is much quieter, but actually, if you strum it correctly when you're using the rhythm track on a like a loop pedal, you can kind of substitutes for quite a good acoustic sound, I always think, but it's really for funk. Same thing in position 2 when you're using these two pickups, you're reversing the middle one, so normal position 2. And then phase position 2. Yeah, so that was just a strat. So you get 7 sounds there. That's your strat with your 2 phase options. Matt Ibanez Blazer, which you can't quite see on the wall there, in the 80s, it was quite a thing to have a phase switch. It's actually quite an easy. It's actually quite a difficult switch to wire, but it's a simple thing and it just gives you the 2 extra funky sounds. Right, so if I rotate this round 1 notch, so that was strat mode. I'm now going into bridge bucker mode, which I've called it. So see, when you're in the middle position, it wires these 2 together as a humbucker, which is fatter. So there's a single coil, and then there it is as a humbucker. Yep, and then so that's in position 3, it's these 2 as a humbucker. If you go into either positions 2 or 4, it gives you these 2 as a humbucker plus the neck pickup. So here's the humbucker on its own. And here it is with the neck pickup. Work much better with distortion, but I'm just trying to run it through relatively quickly. And then if you go into either positions 1 or 5, it's just the neck pickup. Yep, so when you're in the middle, that's an extra 2 sounds. You've got humbucker, and rather than have, my original design for this switch, you just had nothing happened in the other positions. So this one's kind of like humbucker in the middle. 2 and 4 are the same, which is humbucker plus the neck pickup, and then 1 and 5 are the same, which is just the neck pickup. So that gives you an extra 2 sounds there. Yep. The phase switch, because it's connected separately, you can use that in conjunction. So this is a bridge humbucker, or what I've called bridge humbucker, but these 2 pickups. And then you can phase one of them, which gives you an out of phase humbucker. And then you've still got out of phase humbucker plus neck pickup in parallel. And again, position 2 and 4 are the same. And then position 1 is still just the neck pickup on its own. Yep, right, so that's position 2, which I've called bridge bucker. Rotate it around the next one, another one anti-clockwise. We're now on neck bucker. So in the middle position, it gives you these 2 wired as a humbucker. So it's getting muddier. And then in positions 2 and 4, you get these 2 wired as a humbucker plus this one in parallel. positions 1 and 5 are just the bridge pickup on its own. And again, in the middle position, these two on, flip the phase switch, gives you out of phase humbucker in the neck. And then if you go into position 2 or 4, out of phase humbucker in the neck position, plus the bridge in parallel. Some of these sounds work much better with distortion. And then when you go into the last mode, it's Telecaster mode, or what I call Telecaster mode. So in this position, if you're on either the neck or positions 1 or 5, you've got the outer two coils, and a sort of Telecaster. If you're in positions 2, 3 or 4, you get all 3 pickups on, basically. And because you've got all 3 pickups, you're using this one, so you can reverse it. So you get these two, all 3 pickups on with the middle one out of phase. Yeah, so I managed to get through all, put it back to the start. So fully clockwise, we're back into just being a strat. I managed to get through all 18 sounds there in 10 minutes because I assume I talked for rubbish for 1 minute at the start. Yeah, so this can be fitted to any strat. You need to have the centre pickup needs to be opposite polarity to make the humbuckery thing work. It does an awful lot more on more expensive guitars. I stuck one in a Mexican strat before and it made a huge difference. With the sort of cheaper end guitars, it still does what it does, but it doesn't. There's not as huge a difference between the parts. What was I going to say there? I've written out a sheet of paper. That's why I keep referencing it. There's the 18 sounds. Yeah, I'll thing it. Luckily, even this patent thing even showed you how it was done. Yeah, so I don't think I'll be putting that live though. I'm going to keep that. So if you're asking me for the circuit diagram, I normally say no, I'm sorry, I don't have the circuit diagram. This time I do, but I'm not giving it away because I invented it. You can buy a guitar and try and work it out. It just looks like spaghetti in there, really. Yeah, so quick recap of the sounds. In strat mode, position 1 on the rotary position, you've got your 5 strat sounds, plus 2 extra ones when you use the phase switch, which is now off. So you get the five strat sounds, and then in positions 2 and 4 you get the phase one. If you go to the middle bucker, the bridge bucker, which is the next one, you get these 2 wired as a humbucker, these 2 wired as a humbucker with the neck pickup in parallel, another 2, so that's us at 7, 8, 9, and then you've got these 2 wired as a humbucker with this one out of phase, 10, and then these 2 wired as a humbucker with this one out of phase and the neck pickup, 11. Right? You go to the next one, which is bridge bucker. You get bridge bucker plus, neck bucker plus bridge, neck bucker out of phase with itself, and neck bucker out of phase with itself plus bridge, which is, I've forgotten how we're at now. I'm sure it adds up to 18 somehow. Yeah, what was that? So it was like 7, and then 4, 11, and then another 4, 15, and then when you're on Telecaster mode, which is position 4 on the malkoswitch, you've got these 2 on, which was at 19 now, and then you've got all 3 on, 20, and then you've got all 3 on with this one out of phase, 21. I said it was 19 sounds, didn't I? It's not, it's 21 sounds. Sorry. This is live, okay? So, 5 on the strat, plus 2, so we're at 7 with phase sounds. And then we've got 7 plus 4, 11, plus 4, 15, plus 3, 18. It is 18, not 21. Yeah, so 18 sounds. Enough talking rubbish. I will put a wee rhythm track in of some description. I'll use the bass sound for the backing track in. Get some distortion. So bass size maybe also goes. So we go to the first of the buckers. Bucker plus neck. And then phase it. Just these two out of phase. Back in phase. Much quicker than what a strat should be able to do. And then neck picker mode. Neck picker plus the bridge picker. Phase it. I'm going to put on the Behringer first pedals. I think the phase thing might work well there. Just these two out of phase with the fuzz on. Back in phase. I'd really just show you the bass pedal does then. Used to playing with stupid 9s bendy strings. Then last one is Telecaster mode, which is outside two colours. All three pickups on. the last sound, all three pickups on in the middle one it plays. Humbucker mode. Neck humbucker. Bridge humbucker. Boring strat sounds. Technically that's feasible, but when you go with the one pickup on, it doesn't make any difference whether it's reversed or not. Two. Phased. That's the one I use for the backing track. So this 4's the only one I use. And then last and not least, but probably nearly least, bridge pickup. My favourite sounds, I think, that this envision, obviously it's got the Gilmore switch in it as well, which I like the two outside coils, but when you've got both this, when you're in either of the humbucker modes, this is when you're in the middle position on the 5-way, it's quite a muddy, it's a very twangy guitar, it's normally quite muddy, but when you add in the other pickup, it gives you the sort of fatness of the muddiness of the humbucker, and then it's got the single coil in the neck in parallel with it, which kind of brings it back up. And same in the other position. So that was the most sounds you can get easily out of a Strat. There's not really that many other ways of getting more. I remember doing a 21 sound Strat before, but I think I did that by adding more pickups. I believe it had 2 5-way lever switches as well. Silly, but kind of all the options are sort of there. Technically, you could put another phase switch in. That would only give you... Yeah, it wouldn't really work. That would only give you an extra one sound if I put a phase on the neck pickup, for example. Then I suppose you could maybe argue that if you had the humbucker in phase and then this out of phase might be different from having the humbucker with one of them in phase, but not very different. So no, it's pretty much 18 sounds is the maximum you can get out of 3 pickups, no matter how many switches you put in. I don't have all 3 pickups on in series in this particular design. I would have to, in order to fit that in, I would have to sacrifice one of the sounds it's already got, and the all 3 pickups on thing isn't as good as any one of the 4 banks that I've got there as sounds. Yeah. I should really do one of my guitars. I might put it in the, to commit the ultimate sacrilege and put it in that Fender, the Fender Japanese one. Yeah, so fun. Enjoy a new guitar and enjoy having more sounds than you can ever possibly use. A lot of people ask me about putting in, I just want as many switches as possible. I ask wiring questions. I don't mind doing it. I don't like spending a lot of time doing it though, because it's like, you know, I kind of do it to not try and make money, but you know what I mean. I don't really want to spend hours and hours trying to explain how it all works. If I can avoid it, but 18 is the maximum you can do it, and this isn't too complicated to operate. The thing I like about this is though, you put that knob to fully clockwise, and you have this switch down, which is off, better on a push-pull to be honest, and then you just got a strat, so you can turn it all off. When you start putting millions of switches in, sometimes it can be difficult just to get back to, I just want it to sound like a guitar, I don't want to have hundreds of crazy stuff going on, which is sometimes difficult to do because you've got to remember what order to put the switches in to try and make it simple to use, whereas this does a stupid amount of things, but to put it back to normal is just, it's just easy. So, rock on, malkoswitch, trademark. Well, it's not really trademark. I was going to try and see how that gets on. As far as I'm concerned, no one's ever done this switch before. There is a guy I saw, after I'd done this, I found a guy in America that did use the rotary switch to do similar sort of thing, but I don't think he realised that you could put pickups in series if the middle one's out of phase to get humbucker, because the switch he did did a sort of similar thing. I think his one was just I don't think he used it in conjunction with the 5-way switch. So he had, like, in position 1 a strat, and position 2 gave you one sound, and the 5-way lever didn't do anything. I've kind of managed to get 2 sounds out of each of the positions, or 4 if you include the phase switch. Rock on. I've no idea what day this will be going up. I've got quite a few videos to do. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I've still got one in the bank for today. In fact, I've got 2 in the bank for today already, and then I've done 2 today, so it's like this could be well in the future. Next week. Rock on. Catch you later.